Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to show how to deploy our full stack application on AWS server. So our full stack application is developed using Spring Boot, ReactJS and the MySQL. Okay, so as you know, I have multiple projects in Spring Boot, ReactJS and the MySQL. So I'll choose one of the project to deploy that on the AWS server. So the project which I chose is online grocery shopping system, which is one of my latest project and which is one of my huge project. Okay, so if you want to check the complete functionalities of this project, you can check that. I'll provide the link for the same in the description of this video. And the thing is why I choose this project, because this project is really huge. In this I have implemented multiple Spring Boot topics, and in this project I have integrated Razorpay payment gateway also and Google Maps also. So I'll open it, and here what I want to tell is, like, for showing the demo and overview of the complete project, previously I was running the project in my local system. That means those APIs were accessible from my local system only. But now since we are deploying that on the AWS server, it will be accessible from anywhere, right? So that only we will do in this video. We will learn how to deploy our Spring Boot, ReactJS, MySQL full stack application on AWS server. So now the very first thing is, like, if you want to deploy our Spring Boot, ReactJS application on AWS server, the very first thing is we should be having the AWS account. So if you don't have, firstly register into the AWS account, and after that log into the AWS management console like I have done here. That is a simple thing. Okay, now you can see the dashboard here. Okay, this is my account, Code with Murad, and here in the console home, in the recently visited part, you can see EC2 instance, IAM and S3. Okay, but in your case, if you have logged in for the very first time, this will be empty. Okay, now the very first thing is, like, if we want to deploy our application on one server, definitely we require one server. Okay, so for that we will create the instance, EC2 instance we will create. Okay, that means virtual server we will create. So for that we have EC2. So if you are not able to see here EC2, in the search just write EC2, and here in the services you will get EC2. Okay, virtual servers in the cloud, and in this server only we will deploy our application. So for that we will have to create the server. I'll click here, and here the important thing is region, and here we have got the launch instance. So by clicking on it we can start creating our instance. Okay, but before that, here the important thing is region. Okay, I'm from Mumbai, so that's why I selected the region Mumbai. Okay, but if you are from another region, then I would recommend to select the region which is closer to your place. Okay, but even if you select another region, then also there is no issue. Okay, there will be some latency issue, but that is not a big deal. We are learning how to deploy our application on AWS. Okay, no issues. So I have selected Mumbai here, Mumbai region. Now we have got the option to launch the instance. We have got button launch instance, right? Here EC2 is Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, create, manage and monitor virtual server in the cloud. Okay, so we'll create the instance now. If you want to read, you can read all those things also. I'll click on launch instance. So we'll have to give the instance name. So I'll write here grocery app server, and here we will have to select the OS. So I'll select Ubuntu, and in Ubuntu the latest version is latest stable version is 24.04, which comes under the free tier. Okay, so I'm using the free tier only. Okay, so if you have student, I would recommend to use the free tier only for the learning purpose, and make sure, like, whenever you create the instance and all, if you're not using it, close it. Okay, so that we should not get any bill from the AWS. And here the next part is instance type. We have to select the instance type. So we have got multiple instance type which comes under the free tier only. So we have T3, by default it is selected T3 only. Then we have T3.small. Okay, but here since we want to deploy our Spring Boot and ReactJS application, so I think this will be not enough. Okay, because we have got only 1 GB memory. Okay, but in this instance type t3.small, we have got a 2 CPU, 2 GB memory. Okay, so this will be enough. So I'll select this. Okay, definitely we can select, as of now we can select t3.micro also. Later we can change the instance type also. Okay, but I know it will cause the problem, okay, while deployment, because we have got only 1 GB RAM. So while deployment our system will hang. Okay, so I'll select t3.small and we have to generate the key pair. So I'll create the new key pair and I'll give the name as AWS key. Already exists. Okay, key 2. I'll select this. Previously I had created AWS key, so that's why we were getting that alert. Now I have created AWS key 2. Okay, I'll get the PEM file, create the key pair. So our AWS key PEM file got downloaded. So the very first thing what I'll do, I'll just keep it in the safe place. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, cut this and somewhere I will store here in the AWS server. I've created one folder. I'll paste here, and this is our application backend and the frontend, which we will deploy on the AWS server. Okay, that's why I have kept here. Okay, we will talk about this in a few minutes, but as of now I've just kept this PEM file here. Okay, which we will use to log in into the server using the putty or MobaXterm. Okay, in our case we will use MobaXterm application to log in to the server using the SSH. Yeah, we have created the key pair also. Then we have, as of now we will allow SSH traffic from anywhere. Okay, so no issues in that also. Then I'll come down. Yeah, everything is fine, no need of changing anything now. What I'll do, I'll simply launch the instance now. It will take some time, let it complete. Okay, now it is success. Now go to the instances again. So when you click EC2, you will get instances here. Okay, in the dashboard you can see instances here, multiple options basically you are able to see here. Okay, so just click on instances. So the one which we have created, it is running now. Okay, we can check the instance state. It is running now. I'll click here the instance ID, and here we will be able to see the complete detail about this our virtual server. Okay, this is the IP address, public IP, this is the private IP. Okay, complete thing we are able to see here. Now since we have created the virtual server, we can log in into the server using the SSH command. So what I'll do now, I'll use the MobaXterm. Definitely we can use putty also to log into the server. Yeah, so now let's create the new session. I'll use the SSH and remote host. We have to give the IP address of our server which we have created just now. Yeah, I'll copy this IP and paste here, and I'll specify the username also here, Ubuntu. So this is the default username given for the Ubuntu OS. Okay, so initially we will have to use the same username, okay, which is by default given by the AWS for the OS Ubuntu. Then we have to click on the advanced SSH setting because we have to provide the private key. Okay, and this private key is basically the PEM file which we had downloaded, right? So I'll select this. So wherever you have kept this AWS key, just select that and open it and click on OK. Yeah, click on accept button now and you will be able to log in into the server. So till now what we have done is we have created the EC2 instance here. Okay, the instance state is running, that's why we are able to log in into the server. Okay, to the same IP. If you see the IP address here, okay, this is the same IP of the IP which we have generated, okay, the instance, okay. And now we can install all our softwares here, okay, like Java and all. I'll tell what all softwares are required, or the complete steps I'll tell how to deploy our full stack application. But as of now, we have done one important thing, that is creation of the instance, and then log into that instance via the mobile XTEM. We can use putty also to log into the server. But now here is one problem, okay, that I'll show you. I'll go to the instances. Till now we have created one instance, that is grocery app server, right? We will be able to see here. Let it load and we can see it is running, okay. Earlier I had created one more instance, okay, which I have terminated now, okay, whose instance type was also t3.small, okay. But now we have created grocery app server, right? So here the instance is running. What I'll do, I'll click here again, and in the actions, now I want to stop the instance, okay. I'll stop it. Definitely it's upon us, like whenever you want to start, terminate or stop the instance, definitely it's upon you. We can do it anytime, okay. So as of now I want to stop it, okay. So I'll click on stop and successfully initiated stopping of the instance ID this, okay. We can see it is stopping. Okay, so let me just close it. Okay, it automatically got stopped, okay. Now what I'll do, I'll try to log in again. So this time, since our instance is stopped, okay, or it is in stopping state, so we are not able to log in into the server, okay. Previously we were able to log into the server, okay, we were seeing the complete thing, right? But now it is taking time and it will not open definitely because we have stopped the instance. So I'll close it, and what I'll do now, start the instance. Successfully initiated starting of the instance, okay. So it is in pending state now. Let it, okay. We can see it is running, instance state is running. So now what you'll think, like previously since we had stopped the instance, so we were not able to open the server here using the mobile XTEM or putty. But now again I have started our instance, so I should be able to log in, right? So I'll double click here, but why it is not opening here, okay. The reason behind it is the IP address, okay. Whenever you reboot or restart your instance, your IP address will change, okay. This IP address will get changed, okay. Previously it was different, but now it is different, okay. Previously we can see here it was 33.58, but now after the instance restart, okay, after stopping and starting the instance, the IP address got changed, okay. So now I should be able to log in with this IP, but not that, okay. So let's try that also. What I'll do, I'll just edit it, edit the session. I'll give this new IP now, okay, and the PEM file will be same, and I'll click on the OK. I'll close it now, edit the session and rename the session to with the new IP, okay. Now I'll double click on it, accept, and again I'm able to log into the server with the new IP. But you only think whether it is correct or not. Every time you start your instance, IP address will change. Every time you will have to change the IP address wherever it is getting used in the application. In our code level also, you'll have to change it, okay. So this is not the correct way. So here comes the concept of elastic IP. So we will create elastic IP and we will associate it with our instance. So it is like creation of a static IP and linking it with our instance. So in that case, like if we reboot our instance also, then also we will be able to open our server with that particular static IP or elastic IP. So for that we will have to create the elastic IP. So for that, what we'll do, I'll go to the dashboard here, EC2, then dashboard, and here we have elastic IP. So I'll click here. we have here allocate elastic IP address. I'll click here. Then I'll simply allocate it. And we can see here elastic IP address allocated successfully. And this is the IP address, right? And here we can see allocated IP. So if you create more elastic IP, then you will be able to see those IPs here, right? So as of now, we have created this IP, elastic IP. Okay, this is the IP 177, this one. So I'll click here, and here we have got the option to associate elastic IP address. Okay, so we want to associate it with our instance. So we have to choose the instance to which we have to associate. I'll click here, and we can see our instance ID and grocery app server, right? So I'll click here, and automatically private IP will come. So I'll simply select it, and I'll associate it. Elastic IP address associated, successful, right? Now if I go to the dashboard, EC2 dashboard, instance running. So our grocery app server is running, instance state is running. I'll click here. But here if you see, this is our elastic IP, right? Previously when we had rebooted our server, our instance, then at that time this was the generated IP, right? But now we have generated elastic IP with static IP, and we have associated it with our instance grocery app server, right? Now let's see whether we are able to open the server with this IP or not. So again it is taking time and it will not open. So what we have to do for opening the server, I'll simply copy this IP address now, and let me close it. Edit session. I'll give this IP address, which is our elastic IP. User is Ubuntu, and we don't have to change the private key, okay, which is spam file. I click on OK, and also let me rename the session. You can give the rename session. I'll give this IP address, and I'll write here, this is our grocery app server. So by using this name also we can know like this is our grocery app server, right? Now let me open the server, accept, and we can see our server got open. So this was the use of the elastic IP. So I hope the concept of elastic IP also got clear to you. Now what we'll do, let me stop the instance again. Successfully initiated stopping of instance, right? And now what I'll do, I'll start the instance again. Then we will check whether with this elastic IP address I'm able to log in to the server or not. Previously we were not able to log in when we were not using the elastic IP, but now since we are associated our elastic IP with our instance, then we should not face that particular issue. And we can see it automatically got closed because we have stopped the instance. So let me close it, and what I'll do, I'll just start the instance again. Failed to start instance, okay, because it is already in stopping state. Let it stop, then we will start it. And we can see the instance state is now stopped. So let me start the instance again. And the instance state is now running. So let me check whether I'm able to open this grocery app server with this elastic IP or not. So we can see our server got open here. We are able to open the server using the putty or mobextem, right? So that means our elastic IP is working perfectly. Earlier we were not able to log in with that IP after the instance restart, but now we are able to. So I hope the concept of elastic IP is clear So till now we have created the EC2 instance, and then we have also associated our elastic IP with the instance. And now since our instance or server is ready, we can deploy our full stack application on the server. But for deployment of our full stack application, which is developed using Spring Boot, ReactJS and the MySQL, we will have to install some softwares. So before installation, firstly let's discuss about all the required softwares. So we have our online grocery shopping app developed using Spring Boot for the backend, ReactJS for the frontend, and for the database we have used MySQL, right? So for the backend we will require Java JDK 17. Why only JDK 17? Because our Spring Boot application version was 3. Okay, so minimum version of the Java which will be required will be Java JDK 17 or above. Okay, so we will install Java JDK 17. Then Maven also we will have to install. Why? For making the build, for making our build. Then we will get our grocery app jar file which we will run on the server, right? So for making the build we will install Maven. Talking about the ReactJS, we will have to install NodeJS in our server, and also we will have to install MySQL server in our server. So in case of MySQL, we have two options. That is, we can directly install our MySQL server in our server in this instance, or the second thing is like in AWS only we have RDS, okay, which is relational database service. Okay, so we can use that also, that is dedicated database server. But for making the things simpler, in this video we will use MySQL server. I mean we will install MySQL server in our instance which we have created. Okay, so these things needs to be installed in our application. Okay, so one by one we will install all the things in our server. So the very first thing is we will install the JDK, Java JDK 17. And one more important thing is, like, if you are deploying your application on the AWS server, definitely you should be good in Linux commands. Okay, I mean you should have the basic knowledge of the Linux. Okay, if you have the basic knowledge of Linux, then also it will work. And now let's start the installation process. So firstly we will install the Java JDK 17. So firstly, before installation of the Java JDK, I'll run the command sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. So what this will do, it will basically update all your applications which is already present into this server. Okay, so firstly let's update those, and then we'll move forward to install our required softwares. And let me write the command here. Okay, so these things I will give in the description. Okay, so that's why I'll paste the command here. Commands used, I'll write here. So firstly we have used this command. Let it install. Okay, so this is completed, and now let's install our required software. So first I'll use this command for installing the Java JDK 17. Okay, sudo apt install. So what this will do, it will install the OpenJDK 17 in our server. Okay, so I'll just paste it here, and here we are using the open source version which is OpenJDK 17. As you can see here, OpenJDK 17. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll check the Java version, and we can see here OpenJDK 17. So our JDK 17 is installed. Now the second thing required for the backend is Maven, right? So let's install that also. So firstly I'll check the version. So since it is not installed here, command mvn not found, okay, but can be installed with sudo apt install maven, right? So that means this maven is not installed in this server, so we can install it. So I'll write here. So let's install that also. So this is also completed. Now let's check the version of the Maven. Yeah, so it got installed. So for the backend, we have installed Java JDK and Maven. Okay. Now let's move forward with the database part. So for that, we have to install the MySQL server. And why we require MySQL server? Because definitely it will store our applications data, right? So let's install that also. So I'll run the command here, sudo apt install MySQL server, and hit enter. And let me write the command here which I have used. Before that we had used sudo apt install maven, right? Yeah. So let our MySQL installation complete. Let's check the MySQL version now. And here we can see 8.0.42. So that means our MySQL server is also installed, right? So after the installation of the MySQL, what we have to do, we have to log in to the MySQL. Okay, so initially by using the root user, we can directly log in into the MySQL server, okay, locally, because in this same server we have installed the MySQL server. So by using the root user, I can directly log in into it, okay, and it will not ask the password. Now what I'll do, I'll create the database. Grocery shop db, show databases, and we can see here grocery shop db, right? And now what I'll do is I'll create one user who will be having the access of this database, okay, and that user detail we will use in our Spring Boot application to configure, so that we can connect with the MySQL server with this database. Okay, so I hope you got the point. What I'll do now, I'll use this command. Okay, so what it will do, it will create the user, grocery user. This is the username, and the localhost we are creating it identified by this. Okay, this will be the password. So let me create the user, and now what I'll do, I'll log in with this user, okay, which we have created just now, grocery user. So what I'll do, I'll run the command MySQL host is localhost, that means in the same server I have installed my MySQL server. I'll use the username. This is the username which we have created, right? I'll use the same here, and password we need to enter. So this password we will have to enter, okay? So it's upon you which user you are creating and which password you are setting for that particular user, okay? Because this user detail we will use to configure in the Spring Boot application. So whatever detail you are creating, okay, you have to enter that in your Spring Boot application, okay? So as of now, I'll use grocery@123 for this, and now with this user we have logged in, right? And now let's check whether we have the access of this database or not. So if you see, we are not able to see the database grocery shop db, okay? As an admin I can see, but the user which we have created, grocery user, for this user we are not able to see. That means admin have to give the access to him, right? So I'll run the command exit, and again I'll log in with the root user, okay, show database. Yeah, so for admin it is visible. Now we have, as an admin, I will give the access of this db to the user, grocery user, right? So I'll use this command, grant command. let me print the command here. Grant all privileges on grocery shop DB, this DB, okay, to the user, grocery user. So I hope you are getting the point. I'll just copy this and I'll run this as an admin, right? Query okay, and then after that flush privileges, query okay. Yeah, now I'll click exit, and now again let's log in with the user, grocery user. Okay, so for that what I'm using, upper arrow. Okay, you can definitely write here like this, okay, but it's better to use the upper arrow. The commands which you have already used, it will come. Okay, so yeah, I'll use the grocery user password, and again I'll run the command show databases. So now this time we are able to see the database, right? Grocery shop DB, and this user detail we will be using in our Spring Boot application to configure in the application.property files. And definitely if you are deploying your Spring Boot ReactJS application in the server, so I'm assuming that you have a good knowledge about the Spring Boot and the ReactJS. Okay, so till now we have installed all the softwares which are related to the backend. Talking about the front end, next we will have to install NodeJS and npm, which are required to build and run our ReactJS application. So here we will install NodeJS version 18, latest version, okay, which is the stable version, right? So we will use the command. Firstly, we will use the curl command. Let me print here. Okay, so what this will do, this will download the latest NodeJS 18 setup script and configures the Ubuntu to install from the official NodeJS repository. Okay, so firstly we will run this, and then we will install the NodeJS. Okay, so for that again we will use the install command, sudo apt install NodeJS. So this will now download and install NodeJS 18, okay, because we have used this curl command. So I hope you are getting the point. If you face any issue during the installation or the application setup, you can definitely comment that, or you can just contact me. Definitely I'll help in that case. Yeah, so this command is done. Now we will install the NodeJS now. Okay, so let it install now. And now we can check the node version and the npm version. Okay, so this is also got installed, and the very important thing here is for the front end, like for running our Spring Boot application, we know that we have embedded Tomcat server. By default we get embedded Tomcat server to run our Spring Boot application. But what about the ReactJS? So for ReactJS deployment we will use Nginx server. Okay, so as we know, Nginx is a high performance open source web server that is commonly used to serve static websites like React apps. Okay, so we will install the Nginx using apt and configure it to serve our React build folder. And for installation of the Nginx server, definitely we will use the apt command again. So I'll write the command firstly before executing. Right, I'll use this, I'll copy and run here. So this will install our Nginx server. And I'll run the command systemctl status command now to check whether it is running or not. So it is running. So now what I'll do, I'll just enable the Nginx server. Okay, so what this will do, like if we restart our server, okay, instance, then automatically it will start. Okay, so now since our Nginx server is working fine, what I'll do now, I'll just copy this IP address. Okay, I'll go here, edit session, and I'll just copy this IP address, which is definitely elastic IP, as you know. I'll go here, and hit this. Okay, so we are not able to see the Nginx server. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go to the instance. I think we need to enable the port. Okay, yeah, instance is running. Open the instance. So actually the expected thing is like we should be able to see here Nginx home page. Okay, that is welcome to Nginx server, because our Nginx server is running, so it should be visible with this IP, okay, which is our elastic IP. I'll come down here, security, and in the inbound rules there is only one port open, okay, that is 22. So using this only we are able to log into the server, okay, using this SSH command. But now what I'll do, I'll go to the security groups. I'll click here, and in here edit inbound rules, and we will add one more rule here, okay, for HTTP. Okay, and as of now I don't want to block anything, so I should be able to access it from anywhere. Okay, so that is the reason I selected this and saved the rules. Inbound security group rules successfully modified. Okay, now if I go to the inbound rules, previously only one port was open, 22, but now it is also open. What I'll do now, just hit enter here, and we can see. And why 80? Because here we are using HTTP but not HTTPS. For HTTP the port is by default port is 80, right? So that's the reason here we are able to see this output. Okay, again if I close this port, okay, if I delete this, so we are not able to hit. Okay, that means it requires allowance from the AWS server. We have to configure the port, then only it will be visible. I hope you are getting the point. Previously it was not visible with this IP, but now it is visible because we have enabled the port. So till now I think we have installed all the required softwares, right? For the backend we have installed Java JDK, Maven. For the front end we have installed NodeJS and Nginx server. And also for the database we have installed the MySQL server and also created the user, so that we can use that user detail to configure in our Spring Boot application. Right now the next step is to deploy our code into the server. So firstly what we will do, we will place both the projects. Okay, I mean the complete code we will place in the server. Okay, both backend and the front end, both backend and front end code we will place in the server, and then we will use the Maven command to build for the backend and npm command to build our ReactJS application. Now before placing the code into the server, firstly let me open the code here. Firstly let's check whether all the things are properly configured or not. Like we have created the MySQL user, so we have to configure that in our code. Then after making the code perfect, then only we will place the code in the server, and then we will run our application in the server. Okay, so let me open the code here. So for the backend I'll use STS here to view the code, and for the front end VS Code. Let me open that VS Code. and let me open the HTS also. So we have opened the front end code here, or ReactJS application. So definitely from the front end we are calling the backend APIs. So the thing is, previously when I was running the project in my laptop, both were running in the local host, right? In my laptop it was running. So from the front end I was simply giving the URL localhost, okay, because both were running in the localhost in the same system. But now here the thing is, our backend is running on IP, right, on host, because we are deploying it in AWS server. So that particular IP address we will have to provide here. Okay, so I'll just copy this elastic IP. Our backend is running on this and the front end is also running on this. So in the front end, wherever we are calling this API, okay, backend API, we have to configure this IP address in our front end, so that whatever hit we are doing from the front end to the back end, it will hit in this server. Okay, so I'll just copy this, and in here I'll open the category. And yeah, so previously also, like I was running this project in one of the instance, so that's the reason I have kept this IP address. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just copy this. I mean I have to replace this IP with our IP. Okay, and currently our elastic IP is this. That means in this server our backend and front end application will run. Okay, so we have to replace this. What I'll do, I'll just click here in the VS Code, Control Shift F, and I want to replace this IP, like wherever this IP address is used. Okay, I want to replace it with this. Okay, because I know I'm running my backend application on this server, okay, whose elastic IP address is this. Okay, so I'll just replace all. By the way, like we can do the simple thing, we can simply create one config file here. Okay, and in here only I can provide our IP in the port at once. Okay, so in that case there will be no need of doing the replace for all the files. Okay, so yeah, it's recommended to use one config file. Okay, definitely I will change that, but as of now the point is like why we are updating this IP address in the front end. So I hope you got that point. If you have any doubt, you can just ping me in the comment section. I'll help. So from the front end, I think the changes are done. Okay, now let's see the backend code also. Let our HTS open. So this is our backend project. Okay, in the HTS I have opened the project. Okay, so online grocery shop, this is our backend Spring Boot application. So here also we need to configure something, right? So here, since our backend and the Spring Boot application and the MySQL server is in the same local instance, I mean in this server our Spring Boot application will also running, and in this server we have our MySQL also, right? So in this case we can keep this as local host only. Okay, even if we give our elastic IP, then also it will also fine, but if we put localhost also, it will also work, because both MySQL server and our Spring Boot application is running on the same server. So I hope you got the point here, right? So let's keep as localhost only here, and then we have, yeah, let me open show databases. So that means I want to connect my Spring Boot application with this database. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. By the way, it is same only. I'll just paste it here, and here when I was running this project in Windows system, okay, So here I was using the username as root and password. Since it was empty, that's why I had kept it as empty. But for deploying it to the AWS server, we have created one user, right? This is the username which we have created, and this is the password which we have kept, right? So I'll just copy this username and I'll paste it here. And this is the password we have set for this user, right? And for this user we have given all the permissions, right, by using this command, grant all privileges, right, which we have already seen. So our MySQL configuration is done as of now. Okay, now talking about the images. Okay, so as you know, like in my Spring Boot online grocery shop application, we have configured the images folder, right? When I was running this project in my local Windows system, I was using the local folder to store my images. Okay, like while uploading the product, definitely there will be images for grocery shop. For it also we have images, right? So all the images were getting stored in the local Windows system in one of the folder. But now since we are moving forward to the AWS server, so definitely we should use cloud, right? S3. So here in this project now I'll not store that in the server, okay, but I'll store that in the cloud, S3, okay, AWS S3. So that particular changes I have already done in this project. Let me show what all things I have done here. Okay, firstly I'll open the pom.xml file here. And by the way, we can check the Spring Boot version here. It is 3, and for the the minimum Java JDK version which is required is Java 17. Right, I'll come below, and here we can see AWS SDK artifact ID is S3. Okay, we are using S3. Okay, so here we have added the dependency, and this was a file which was dealing with the file upload and getting the file. Okay, like we have created here all the methods, we have declared all the methods. Okay, and this was the implementation class for dealing with I mean the file in the local system for the Windows. Okay, but now since we will store all the images in S3, so for that what I have done, I have created one more implementation of this. Okay, and this is the S3 storage service. Okay, again which is implementing the same storage service. Okay, and here I have given the implementation of all the things like storing the file. Okay, this is the store method. What it will do, it will store the image in the AWS S3. Okay, definitely till now we have not created the S3. Okay, we will see in few minutes how to create that. Okay, but here I'm explaining the code, what I have done the changes. Okay, so this implementation will be responsible to store the images in the S3. Okay, AWS S3. And for that, definitely if I go to the application.properties, I have configured the things. Okay, S3 implementation, we have to provide the key, access key, secret key, we have to provide the region and the bucket name. Okay, so earlier I had deployed it in one of the instance, that's why it is the values are visible here. Okay, but now since I have already deleted that, this will not work. Okay, so we have to create S3 now. Okay, so let's create that now. Okay, and those after creation of the S3 we will create the credential, and we will use that credential here in the Spring Boot application.property files. Then our backend configuration will be completely done, right? So now let's create the S3. So you can just go to the console home, and here if you see recently visited S3, I'm able to see because earlier I had used that. Okay, but in your case if you have not, then it will be empty. You can simply search S3 here in the search bar. Okay, and I'll open it, and here we can see S3 store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere. Okay, so I'll just create the bucket, create bucket, and here we have to provide the bucket name. So I'll write here code with Murad grocery bucket. Okay, so I'll just copy this. This is very important. The bucket name, I'll paste it here. Then after giving the bucket name, I'll scroll down, block all public access. So right now I'll just uncheck this, okay, because ultimately all those products are public only, right? So no issues. We are using S3 for storing the product images, right? Then after that, yeah, we can just simply click on create bucket. Okay, yeah, we have to acknowledge, and now create bucket. Successfully created the bucket. Code with Murad, grocery shop bucket, right? And make sure the region is same, like we have created the EC2 instance also, right? And now we have created S3, Amazon S3. So it is good that if both have the same region, okay? But if it is not, then also there is no problem. And now I'll click here, code with Murad, grocery shop bucket. And now we have created the S3 bucket, right? Now the next step is to create the credential, okay, because that access key and the secret key we will use here, okay, in our Spring Boot application to store the images there and to fetch the image from there, right? So we will have to create the credential, and for that there is one step. Like, again, search here IAM, okay, you will have to create the IAM user. From the root user we cannot create the credential, okay, so you will have to create IAM user, and then for that particular user you can create the credential, and that credential we will use in our Spring Boot application, okay. Then now here users is 0, that means there is no IAM user, okay. I'll click on 0, and here we have the option to create the user. So I hope you got the point, like why we are creating this user. We are creating this user so that we can create the credential for this user, and we can use that credential in our Spring Boot application so that we can integrate our Amazon S3 with our Spring Boot application, because we cannot do it with the root user for the security reasons, you can say. Username we will have to provide, so I'll write here S3 access user. That means this user will have the access of the S3, okay. By the way, you can give the any name here, okay, but I have given here S3 access user because by the name only we can understand for which purpose we are creating this user. And here just click on I want to create IAM user, okay, and then after that just click on this I want to create an IAM user, okay. So here we can read, we recommend that you create IAM users only if you need to enable programmatic access, okay. So definitely we are doing programmatic access only, right? From our Spring Boot application we will access that, right? So here custom password, let's keep. So I'll write the password here, and create. And here in the permissions option you have to click on attach policies directly, and the next step is permissions policy. So here I'll search Amazon S3 full access, okay. I'll just check this, then I'll click on the next, and we can skip the new tag, just click create user, and user created successfully. You can view and download the user's password and email instruction for signing into the AWS management console. That means since we have created the user, definitely by using that particular user also we can log in into our AWS console. Previously I have logged in as a root user, so I'll cancel this. And now the next step is we have to create the access key, okay. We have created the user, right? But now the thing is we have to create the credential for it. So now previously it was empty, right? But in the users now it is one. That means we have created one user, S3 access user. I'll click on it because we have to create the credential, right? So we have security credentials here. I'll click here, and in here we have to create the access key. So I'll just click on the create access key, and here we have to select application running outside the AWS. Okay, and click on next. We can skip it. So in the description I'll write to access the S3 from Spring Boot application. Okay, even if you keep it empty, no issues. Now create the access key. Access key created. This is the only time that the secret access key can be viewed or downloaded. Okay, so this is very important. You can copy, paste and download the credential. Okay, so as of now I'll write here access key and the secret key. Here copy it, now paste it. So here I'm using this, I will be using this access key, generated access key and the secret key in our application. Okay, and one more thing I want to tell, that after creation of this video I'll definitely delete the instance and the this S3 also. Okay, so I request like not to try to access all this server, okay, this IP and all, because I'll be deleting this after the tutorial video. So we have copy pasted the access key and the secret key, right? And we know the region also. And now here I'll click on done. Okay, so it's created, right? So we have created the user, and for this user we have created the credentials. And now I'll just copy this credential and paste it here in the Spring Boot application. Okay, cancel this and paste the newly created access key, and same for the secret key. Okay, and bucket name also we have to give properly. So this is the bucket name, right? I'll use this one. Okay, and the region is same, AP South 1. Okay, that is on the Mumbai. So we have created the credential and we have configured that in our Spring Boot application, correct? And also, like I have explained, like what all changes I have done for the S3 implementation. Okay, so this is the S3 storage service implementation. And here, since I have two implementation of this storage service, okay, this one was for the Windows, okay, to deal with the Windows folder, okay, locally, and this we have created for the S3. Okay, so for avoiding the ambiguity during the runtime, here I have marked this as a primary. Okay, so during the runtime it will give the priority to this. That means all the implementation of this will execute in the runtime, right? So I hope all the concepts are clear to you. Definitely it will be, because you are deploying the application in the AWS server, right? So from the backend side, all the configurations are done. We have done the configuration for the MySQL, and also we have integrated the S3. Okay, we have added the credentials for the S3, right? And from the front end also we have changed the IP address. Okay, because in this elastic IP, in this server we will be running our backend, so that's why we have kept this IP address, right? So now all the softwares are ready and our code is also ready. So it's time to place both the backend and the front end code in our server. So for that, what I'll do, firstly let's go to the project location in the Windows system, in my local system, which I need to place in the Linux system. Yeah, I'll click this button, and in here in the grocery app we have our backend and the front end code, right? Let me zip it. And same for the front end. Yeah, so both the zip files are ready now. I'll just, since I'm using the mobile extem, so here what I can do, from here exit, and I can place the, I can drag and drop the zip file here from Windows to the Linux system. Okay, I'll show you how. But before that, here let's use the list command. That means in this root directory what all things are present, we will be able to see. So here there is nothing. Okay, it's totally empty. So we will create one directory. Okay, so that in this directory only all our code and the complete thing will be visible. Okay, we will place, so for that I'll use the mkdir command. Okay, mkdir grocery full stack. I'll write here full stack grocery app. Okay, this will create the directory here in this. Okay, so I'll do ls and we can see this is the folder now which we have created. Okay, and I'll go inside it. Okay, yeah, I'll go inside it, ls again to list all the files in the folder. So it's empty. So in this full stack grocery app we will create two more folder, which is backend and the front end, right? mkdir. So basically it will be easy for us to understand like which is the backend code and which is the front end code. Okay, so it should be in proper structure, so that's why I'm creating it. Okay, mkdir this and mkdir front end. We have created two directory here. I'll do ls again and we can see backend and the front end. I'll do pwd command to see the current directory name. Okay, so we are inside the full stack grocery app. Okay, yeah, now in this backend I'll do ls again to view all the folders and the files. So we have two directory or two folder, backend and the front end. So in the backend we will keep our backend zip file, okay, which we will upload from the Windows, and in the front end we will place our front end zip file, right? So yeah, if you refresh it, yeah, so this folder is created now, full stack grocery app. I'll double click and inside it backend and the folder front end folder is there. Okay, I'll open the backend folder here, and what I'll do here, I have the backend and the front end zip file, right? I'll do drag and drop now. Okay, so it will take time to upload here in this directory, in the backend directory. So firstly let it complete, then we will place our front end code also in the Linux front end folder. So our backend zip file is placed. Now what I'll do, from here I can navigate to the front end. Okay, so in the full stack grocery app we have front end. I'll open it and we can see we are in the directory front end, right? So I'll place my front end code here in this directory. And from the command we can check. Okay, I'll do ls. We have backend and the front end directory. I'll go inside the backend using the cd command. Okay, ls, and we can see the uploaded grocery shop backend zip file. Same with the front end. I'll use the command cd dot dot and ls. Okay, so using this dot dot we came to the backward folder, you can say. Okay, I'll do again ls. Backend and the front end is there. If I want to go to the front end, I'll use cd command cd front end, then ls, and here we can see grocery shop front end zip file. Okay, so both the zip files we have, okay, in our server. Okay, that means the actual backend and the front end code we have in our. Now it's time to unzip both the folders. Okay, so firstly I'll unzip the backend one. Okay, ls, I'll go inside the backend. Okay, so these are the basics Linux command which I'm using. Okay, cd, ls. Okay, so if these things are very clear to you, it will be very simple you to deploy your full stack application in the Linux system. Okay, in the AWS server. ls, and now we have to unzip it. I'll use the command unzip, and here I'll write what I can do. I can simply copy this and I can paste it here. Okay, and the second thing what we can do is, it will be very simpler. You can simply write grow and you can click on tab, okay, because the file with this starting with this name is already present, so it will automatically come, okay. And if multiple files are there, then based on that only it will come, okay. But since here only one file is there, that's why it will automatically come. You can see here I'm simply clicking on tab button, it is automatically coming. Good. I'll click on unzip now, but here it is showing unzip not found, okay, but can be installed with this, okay. So let's install this also to unzip our files, okay, the zip files. Let it install now, okay. So it got installed, and now I'll use the upper command, okay, again to unzip the grocery shop Razorpay backend master zip, okay. I'll unzip it, ls, and here we can see the unzip folder, right, grocery shop Razorpay backend master, okay. And now if you want to keep this zip file, you can simply keep or you can delete it, it's upon you, okay. But let's delete it, okay. Let's delete it. So for deleting it, we'll use the rm command, okay, remove command. This file now we want to remove, okay, because we have already extracted the folder, okay. So if you want to check the structure, you can definitely see, okay. I'll use the cd command. So now I'll go inside this directory which we have unzipped, okay. Again I'll use tab button, so it will automatically come, and I'll hit enter, ls, and you can see the complete Maven structure, right, pom.xml, src, target, right, like we can see in the windows, right, online grocery shop, then src main, java, then we have src, pom.xml, this, right. The same thing is there. If you want to check the code, source code, you can do that, okay. I'll do src main, okay, then inside the main we have java and the resources, like here java and the resources. Then I'll go to the resources, okay, because we have made the changes in the application.property files, right. So if you want to view these application.property files, okay, you can simply use the command less, okay. I'll use the command less, and if you simply write app and tab, it will automatically come application.properties. You can simply copy and paste again, but I have used the tab. Then you can clearly see the changes which we had done are visible here, right. This is the MySQL configuration which we had done, and this is the S3 implementation. This is the access key, all the things we had given, right, code with Murad, grocery shop, bucket. So I'll use Control C, Control Z to close it, okay. So by using the less command, you can view the file, okay. So I'll just use the cd command to come to the root directory. I'll again use the pwd command to view the current directory, okay. We are inside the home Ubuntu. I'll do ls. Anytime you can do ls to view all the file present in the directory. I'll use cd Fullstack, okay. There is two folder, backend and the frontend. Inside the backend we have already extracted our file. Now inside the frontend I have to go. I'll come backward, ls, then I'll use cd command to navigate to the frontend directory. Again we have our frontend master zip file here, right. I'll unzip it again using the unzip command, unzip, and here I'll write grocery shop Razorpay frontend. I use the tab again, okay. And now I'll unzip the frontend code also. I'll do ls. So this is our extracted file or folder, okay. Now we can delete the zip file again. I'll use again rm command to remove this zip file because we have already extracted it, right. But if you want to keep in the server, then definitely you can keep, there's no issue, okay. I have deleted this also, and I can see there's only one directory which is the front end. I use grow, and I'll click tab, it will automatically come cd, and I can see the structure here, right. src, then package.json, package log.json, like we can see in the VS Code, right. And if you want to check the hidden files, like which is starting with the dot, okay. So here I noticed that we have here .env.local, okay, in which we have configured the Google Map access key. So that is not visible here. So for that, you it will not work with the ls command. Okay, it will not list down that. But if you use ls minus or -la, then in that case you will be able to see this dot files also. Okay, so I hope like you got the point. So till now we have not done the very big thing. Okay, we have simply placed the zip file in the front in the server, and we have just extracted it, and we have just checked the code, right? Again, I'll use the cd command to go to the root directory. I'll do the pwd, okay, home ubuntu ls, then we have the directory here, cd full stack. I'll go again here, and now I'll go to the backend. Okay, firstly let's run our backend code. Okay, so here is our backend code, correct? If we have the backend code, I'll go inside that. Here I can see the complete backend structure. We have form.xml, right? We have src, I mean the complete project structure I have. And I know I have already installed Maven, right, in our system, and we can see Apache Maven 3.8.7. that means we can use the Maven command to build the jar file for this project, that is grocery shop, right? So here this target I can remove, okay, because this was generated when I was creating the jar in my local system. Okay, so by default it will not come here. I'll remove the target folder. So if you want to delete the directory, then you have to use the -rf here. Okay, so if I use ls now, so we have the source folder, form.xml file, and the mvn files, right? Now I'll use the command nvm maven clean install, okay, because I want to build my application so that I can get the jar, and that particular jar we will run, right? I'll hit enter to build the jar file. Now let's see whether it will get built or it will get failed. So as of now it is downloading all the dependencies which we had mentioned in the pom.xml file, right? So let it download all the dependencies here. So here the build got failed because I have not written the test cases properly. So let's do one thing. Let's skip the test. Okay, so I'll run the command now. Nvm clean install, the same command, but this time we will just skip the tests. Okay, I'll hit enter now, and now let's build again. Let's see whether it will get built or not. Okay, so this time the build is successful, and if build is successful, then here I'll run the command ls again, and we can see the target folder automatically got generated. So I'll go inside the target, okay, and we know inside the target we get our build jar. Okay, so this is the jar which got built. Okay, this is the jar file which we require. So what I'll do now, okay, I'll place it in the root directory. Okay, here inside the backend folder I want to keep this jar file. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll just copy this online grocery jar. Okay, so here I'll write online, I'll click on tab again, this will automatically come here, like we can see here. I'll click on dot dot and dot dot, that means 2 folders back I have to place it. Okay, and 2 folder back, if you see, this is the first folder, this is the second folder, it will directly come into the backend folder, right? This is simple. Okay, simple Linux command. I'll go again back, okay, back with the 2 folder. Okay, so that means I'm right now, if I do the pwd to check the directory, right now I'm in the Fullstack grocery app backend. Okay, I'll do ls, and here I can see the jar file which I have moved. Okay, I have just simply copied this jar from the target folder, and I have placed that in the backend folder where I have my actual code. Okay, so that means my backend jar is built. We have to run it. Okay, but before running our backend application, now let's configure our ReactJS application also. Let's build that also. For that I'll go to backward, I'll do ls, definitely have to go to the frontend folder because I have my code there, ls, and here grocery shop razorpay frontend master, right? So I'll go inside that. I'll click on tab. It will automatically come, enter, and I'll do ls, list down all the files here, and we can see the complete project structure here. Okay, ReactJS structure, right? Now I'll here, if you see, node modules are not present. Okay, that means all the dependencies which is required to the application, ReactJS application, it is not there. That means we have to install it, right? So I'll simply run the command npm install, and as we know, we have already installed node and npm in our system, right? So I'll run the command npm install. It will download all the dependencies here in our application. Okay, so all our dependencies are installed now, and now I'll run the command npm run build. That means like I have built the Spring Boot application, we got the jar file. In the similar way, we have to build our ReactJS application also. Okay, so here firstly I'll do ls. Okay, and here I'll run the command npm run build. I want to build my ReactJS application, and it is running. Let it build. So now our build folder is ready. So we can see here the build folder is ready to be deployed. So our build is completed. I'll do ls here, and we can see build folder got generated here, right? I'll go inside that, cd build, and here I can see the complete build file. Okay, index.html and all the things, right? And now since both our Spring Boot and the ReactJS applications build is successful, now it's time to run the application. Okay, so firstly let's run our backend application. For running the backend application, I'll go to the backend folder definitely, right? pwd, then ls, I'll go to the Fullstack grocery app, then I'll do ls, and I'll go to the backend because I want to run the backend application. And here I'll do ls, and this is our build jar file, right, which we have placed here. I want to run it now. Okay, so for running this, like, we have two options here. The very first one is like I can simply run the command java-jar, and we can simply run this jar. Okay, we can simply do it. So let's do that. And let's see whether our backend Spring Boot application will run or not. Okay, so our Spring Boot application is starting. Let's see. So here we can see our backend application, online grocery shop backend application, is running on port 8080. Okay, but here the problem is whenever you close this terminal, okay, this application will stop. Okay, like if I run Ctrl+C, Ctrl+Z, our backend application is down. Okay, it is not running straight now. Okay, our backend application is stopped. So in this way our production release will not work. Okay, it should be like whether you close your terminal or server, if you come out of the server, then also like your backend application should run. Okay, so for that we use nohub command. Okay, so I'll write the command here. Okay, let me, yeah, so this is the command which we will use, and here we have to replace the jar file. So I think the jar name is same only here, right? I'll do ls here. This is exactly same, right? And here whatever logs will be generated, and I want it to run on the port 8080. By default, by the way, it will run on 8080 port only for the default profile. And also the next thing is like whatever log will be generated, it will get stored inside the grocery app.log. Okay, which will automatically get created here in the backend. Okay, so in this way we will run our backend application. Okay, what I'll do now, I'll just copy this. So I hope you got the point, like why we are using the nohub now. Okay, simply run it, and here you are not able to see this thing, right? Starting the Spring Boot application and all. So if I do ls now, this grocery app.log, it automatically got generated, and I will use the less command now to view this file, this log file. Hit enter and I'll click on shift F to view the latest log file. Okay, and here we can see our Spring Boot online grocery shop backend application is running on port 8080. And now if I come out of this, okay, then also my backend is running. Okay, so this was the disadvantage of the java-jar, okay, this command. Okay, so that's the reason we have used nohub command, okay, so that it should not get terminated when I close the terminal. Okay, now our backend application is successfully running. What I'll do now, I'll log into the MySQL server now. Show databases. Why here I'm logging into the MySQL server? Because since our backend application is running, definitely all the entities which I had declared in the entity package here, right? So those tables should get automatically created inside this database. Okay, so I'll use the database, this one, use this, and now I'll do show data, show tables. Okay, so here we can see all the tables automatically got created here. From where it automatically got created? Because we executed our backend application. Our backend application is successfully running, so it automatically created all the tables, okay, coming from the entity class. Okay, and here I'll check the select star from user. I'll check the user table. There is one entry here, demo.admin@demo.com. okay, so this is the default admin. And why this came here automatically, let me explain you the simple code. So in the main class, okay, which is annotated with the Spring Boot application, here I have implemented command liner, and here I have overwritten the run method, where I have written if there is no admin, default admin present in the database with this email ID, then please create the default admin for us. Okay, using this email ID, with the role admin, whose status will be active. Okay, and the password for the same will be 123456. Definitely you can change based on your requirement. Okay, so you can see it is active, the role is admin, this is the email ID which we have used for the default admin, and this is the password, encrypted password, because we have used Spring Security, right? So I hope you got the point. Our backend is successfully running and all the tables automatically got created. Now it's time to run the front-end application. So as we know, firstly I'll go to the front-end folder. I'll do ls cd front-end. I want to go to the front-end directory, and here I have my project. I'll go inside that grocery tab, then ls, and here we have our build folder, right? I'll go inside the build folder. I have my build here. Okay, complete thing I have here. Now the thing is, when I am hitting this URL, okay, this elastic IP, then we are able to see this welcome to Nginx. From where it is coming? This is the question, right? Why it is coming? But instead of this, I want my online grocery shop landing page to be visible, right? So for that, firstly we have to understand like from where it is coming. Okay, so let me show that. I'll do cd var, then inside the var we have our www, this folder, right? I'll go inside that. I'll do ls, and inside we have html. Okay, I'll do ls. So I'll just simply do pwd to view the current directory in which we are. So inside var www html we are. Okay, I'll do ls now, and here we have our html file. Okay, so you let's view this file. So using the less command I will view, or you can also do cat, okay, paste. I want to view this file, and here you can see welcome to Nginx. Then if you see this page, the Nginx web server is successfully installed and working, right? The same thing we are able to see here, right? If you see this page, the Nginx web server is successfully installed and working. So now what we will do, I don't want this. Instead of this, I want my backend application, sorry, a ReactJS application to come, right? I want my online grocery shop web applications landing page, right? So I'll remove this, okay? I'll simply remove this. I don't want this, okay? But yeah, I'll write here yes, permission denied, okay? So what I'll do, I'll just use the command sudo, okay, sudo, and I want to delete this file, and now it got deleted. Now instead of this, I want to place my ReactJS build which we have done, right? So I'll just copy this pwd, okay, I'll just copy this, just select this, it will get copied, then cd ls, I want to go to the frontend folder, I'll go to the frontend, then ls, and I'll go to the grocery shop frontend, cd tab ls, and here is my build, right? So I'll go inside the build, I'll do ls. So I want to place all these files inside that directory, okay, that is where www html which we have copied. Run the command sudo. As a root user, I'll copy all the files present inside this build folder, okay? In this build folder, definitely we can see multiple files are there. So I want to copy, okay, as a root user, I want to copy all the files present inside this build folder, okay, because right now we are inside the build folder, okay? So all the file present in this build folder, in this directory, I want to copy in the where www then html, okay, from where we have deleted the default html page, okay? By the way, since we have deleted the html file, if I reload it, now it is showing 403 forbidden because we have deleted that, okay? Now by using this, what I'm doing, all the build files, ReactJS build files, I'm copying into that particular folder where www html, okay? I'll just run the command now, and again I'll go to the where build, sorry, www html, and inside that I'll do ls, and I can see the complete ReactJS build files I can see here. Now I'll simply reload it. This will work or not? Yeah, it will work. This is working fine now, and we can see our ReactJS application landing page, okay? And we know our ReactJS application is we have deployed in the Nginx server, right? So you can use a systemctl command, sudo systemctl command, and I want to check whether my Nginx is running or not. Definitely it is running. That's the reason we are able to see our ReactJS application, because we have deployed inside that, right? Now I can stop it. If I want, I can stop it. If I have stopped, definitely my Nginx server is stopped. I'll not be able to see this landing page because our ReactJS application is deployed inside the Nginx server, right? So we have the command to start it again, okay? I'll start. So the reason for using this commands is to show like how the things are working here, okay? It automatically came here, okay? And now we want to check whether all the things are working fine or not, okay? I'll log in now. So I will log in with the default admin email ID. Just log in. Logging is not happening. I'll open the network tab. I'll open the console, and now let's hit the login, whether it is working fine or not. It's showing pending. it is trying to hit the login API, but it is showing pending. Okay, error connection timeout. Okay, but both our backend and the front end application is running. Okay, our backend application is running, then it should not come, right? It should not come. So here in the front end code, we had given the IP address of the instance, right, which is elastic IP. So this is correct, and now our backend application is running fine or not, we have to check that, right? I'll do ls, go to the full stack, ls, go to the backend, ls, and we have our jar, and this is the log file. Okay, I want to check whether the request is coming here or not. Okay, so I'll just open the log file because we have printed everything in the log. Okay, so we can see here started online grocery shop. That means after that we haven't received any of the requests on the front end or from anywhere. I hope you got the point. But if our application is running, backend application is running on port 8080, and if we are trying to hit the same from the front end, it should be we should be receiving the request, right? Because this is correct. Okay, so the problem here is about the port again. Okay, so remember, like our Nginx server was also not working. Okay, then after that we enabled the port 80, correct? So I'll go to the instance again, I'll search here EC2, or here it is EC2. I'll click here and open the instance. I'll open the instance. I'll go to the dashboard instead. Yeah, I'll go to the dashboard, and here instance is running. So our grocery app server is running, right? I'll click here. We have to open the port, then it will work, and it should work. Okay, let's go to the security, and inside that we have inbound rules. Okay, so like the port 22 and 80, we have to open our port 8080 in which our backend application is running, right? So edit inbound rules, and now I'll add one more rule. I'll select the custom TCP only, that's fine, and here I'll open the port 8080, but because our application, our backend Spring Boot application is running on port 8080, right? You can see here 8080. So if we are, and here allow it from anywhere as of now, save rules, and now since 8080 port is also open, that means the request coming from the front end should come here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just keep my log open only, and now again I'll do the login part. Okay, and I'll open the inspect also. Previously we got this error connection timeout, right? Because it was not able to connect to the backend application, that's why it gave connection timeout. Now what I'll do, we have added the credentials already, login, and yeah, logged in successful. Okay, but why we got this 404 not found? Okay, let me delete this home. Okay, it is coming now, but we got the success response here, right, for the login. Let's check the log whether we received the request on the front end or not. Yeah, so if you see, we received the request on the front end, API user login, and we gave the OK response to the front end or client. Okay, and that's the reason we got logged in successful. Okay, and after the admin login, I got multiple options in the navigation bar, right? But the thing is, and also let's check our, okay, let me add any location here, add the location added successful. So this is also working fine. I'll go to the log again. Yeah, so we received the request for the location add also, but the thing is, initially we got 404. Why we got that? Okay, so let's test our application for some time. I'll register the grocery shop. Here I'll register with the Murad. Okay, with the email ID code with Murad only. By the way, if you face any issue, you can contact me in this email ID also. Okay, I'll just copy this and register the grocery shop. I'll log in with this now, and all the requests we are getting in the backend, okay, whether it is user register, login or anything. I'll use the password 1 2. Logged in successful, and again we face the same issue, 404 not found. Okay, so we have to resolve this. So for that, what I'll do, we have to check the Nginx configuration file. Okay, let's check that. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go to the server. But now we are very clear that our Spring Boot and the ReactJS application is running fine, our backend application is connected with the database, and everything is working fine, but we are facing the routing issue sometimes, right? We have to fix that. Okay, and after fixing that, we have to check the whether our S3 is working fine or not, whether whatever images we are uploading, that is getting uploaded in the S3 or not. That is also important part, right? But firstly, let's fix this routing issue. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go to the Nginx default configuration file. So for that, I'll go inside the etc, then Nginx. Okay, I'll do ls here. Then I'll go to the sites available. Okay, we can see here sites available. Sites are available. I'm using the tab again. I'll do ls again, ls, and here we have the default file, right? I'll check using the less command here, less default, okay, to view the file. So here I'll scroll down. This is the root directory in which we have placed the build file, right? Yeah, so here is the we have to change here. Okay, first attempt to serve request as file, then as directory, then fall back to the displaying J404. Okay, so here we have to replace it with the index.html file. Okay, so we will update it. Okay, we will update it. So for that, we will use the editor command vi. Okay, vi editor, this vi command we will use, and default. This less command was to view the file, but we are using the vi command to edit the file. Okay, so I'll use the default command again, and now here firstly I'll come using the down arrow. I'm coming here. Okay, yeah, this part we have to change. Okay, you have to replace it with the index.html. So for editing the file, what you will have to do, click on I. Okay, after clicking on I, it is showing index. Okay, but it is showing warning changing a read only file. Okay, we don't have access to edit this file. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll use the sudo command. Okay, like as a admin user or root user, I want to edit it. Okay, so I'll vi default, same thing. Okay, but as a root user, I'll open again, down arrow, and in here I have to edit, right? So I'll use the command, I'll press I, and I can see here insert. That means you can edit the file now. Okay, what we have to do is we have to delete this. Okay, backspace, and here we have to make it index.html. okay, index.html, and now we have made the changes. We have to save it. For saving it, you have to click on the escape button. Okay, esc button, I'll click here, and then you have to click on a colon. Okay, so for that I'll click on shift semicolon, and you got this colon. Okay, and then you have to write WQ and this exclamation. Okay, and hit enter, and this will automatically get saved. Okay, we have edited the file now. Okay, now again we will use the less command to view the changes which we have done, whether it got updated or not in this file. So using the less command, I'm checking. Yeah, we can see it got updated. As a root user, we have updated it. Okay, and now I'll simply restart it. Okay, so restart the Nginx server because we have made the changes in the configuration file of it. Okay, so I'll use a sudo command, sudo systemctl. We have to check the we have to stop the Nginx. Okay, And if you have stopped the Nginx, definitely our ReactJS application will not work, right? It will not work. Yeah, this site can't be reached. But now I'll start it again. And now let's check the status. So it is active and it is running. I'll just refresh it. Yeah, without refresh only it came here. So that means we have updated that, and now I should not get the routing issue. So let's check that. So now let's test it again. What I'll do, I'll log in with the grocery shop, code with Murad. I'll use a credential. Here we have to enter the grocery shop detail. I'll enter anything now. Code with Murad, the shop. Okay, code with Murad shop. Anything we can enter. And let's check. So by using this functionality, we'll come to know whether our S3 is working or fine or not, because here we have to upload the image, and definitely we want our image to be stored in the S3, right? So I'll just merge this, yeah, and I'll write code with Murad. Select the location. So as admin we have added the Mumbai location, right? I'll select the grocery shop image. Okay, so I'll select any one here, any one file. I'll select bookstore. Yeah, I've selected this, and I'll select anything from here. Okay, and I'll add the shop. Okay, let me open the inspect tab. Add shop, and yeah, grocery shop details saved successful. And now what I'll do, I'll view the details. Okay, but here this image is not visible. What can be the reason? Okay, let me check here on the inspect. In the grocery shop, whether image got stored or not. Okay, so that means I think it got stored in the S3. Okay, let me check. We have to debug this now. Okay, why this image is not visible here? Okay, so firstly what I'll do, I'll check in the database. Okay, I'll run the command here, MySQL, to open it in the local host only. I have my local MySQL. Okay, with the user grocery shop I want to open with the password grocery @123, and the password is wrong. Grocery okay, it's grocery user. Yeah, show databases. Use grocery shop db, show tables. Firstly we want to check whether it got stored in the database or not. Okay, so we will use select star from this grocery store. Okay, paste it here, and here we can see one entry got added, and in the image column, okay, the complete path of the image got stored. Okay, so I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll copy this and I'll just try to access it from the browser. Let's see. So it is showing access denied. Okay, now the second thing is, like, we have to check whether our image got stored in the S3 or not. If it got stored, then the problem is, like, we are not able to access it from our browser. Okay, so we will have to allow it from the public place also. Okay, like we have to allow it from anywhere. So firstly check, let's check whether it is present in the S3 bucket or not, our bucket or not. Our bucket name is this, right? Code with Murad grocery shop bucket, right? So it's loading here. Yeah, this one, code with Murad grocery shop bucket. I'll open this, and here any file is present or not. There is one file here, okay, which we have uploaded at this time, okay, and let's download it, whether it is visible or not. Object to be downloaded, that means there is one image here, okay, but we are not able to access it. Image is there in the S3, so we will have to configure this thing, okay. We will have to configure. Now here, since we have I'll go to the bucket now. I'll go to the bucket. Inside that, in the permissions I'll go, okay, because in the bucket images are there, images got uploaded, but we are not able to access it, right? So I clicked on the permissions here. Then here we have to give the configuration file in the JSON, okay. So what it is written, the bucket policy written in the JSON provides access to the object stored in the bucket. Bucket policies don't apply to the objects owned by the other accounts, okay. So we have to give the configuration in the JSON format, okay. So here I'll just copy that particular thing, okay. This is the JSON format which we will give, okay. So now here we have to give our bucket name, okay. So this is the latest bucket name which we had created, right? So I'll use the same thing here. I'll just replace it. And after that everything is fine, okay. I'll just copy this now. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. I'll paste it here and just save the changes and successfully edited the bucket policy, okay. We have updated the bucket policy. So what we are telling basically, like all the files present inside this bucket, okay, should be accessible, okay, to public read access for the object, okay. Publicly it can be accessed from anywhere. It is like that, okay. So we have updated the bucket policy. Now let's check whether after updating the bucket policy we are able to access it or not. So yeah, from the browser we are able to access it. So from here, if we are able to access it, that means it should be visible from here also, right? Let's refresh it and here we go. We can see our image is coming from the S3, okay. And now in this case, since we have deployed that in the AWS server, our image is not stored in the normal server, okay, or Windows or in the Linux system, okay, but it is getting stored in the AWS S3, okay. So this is also working fine, we can say, right? And the routing problem is also got fixed, right? Everything is working fine now. And now we can say our complete full stack application, that is online grocery shop application, which is developed using Spring Boot, ReactJS and the MySQL, is perfectly working fine after the deployment on the AWS server. So we saw from start to end, like how to create the instance, then how to install all the things, right? Then creation of S3, then creating of the credentials and using that in the Spring Boot application, then placing the source code inside the Linux server for both the backend and the front end, then making the build for both of them, and after that running the application, right? So the complete thing we saw from the scratch, and at the end our full stack application is successfully deployed on the AWS server and it is perfectly running fine. So as we can see the complete output. So this was the complete tutorial, like how to deploy our full stack application on AWS server. So if you have followed the video till here, I hope you have successfully deployed your application in the AWS server. And if you find this video helpful, then I would like to request you guys to please do like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because it really takes time to create such type of content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button to motivate me to create more such type of videos for you guys. We will meet soon in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.